All right, folks, this could not be timing up better. I have been telling you all month that right around the middle of January, things would get active again, and here we are. We are tracking the potential for southern snow pushing deep into areas that rarely see it, and there is a legitimate chance this could turn into a big East Coast storm. The trend has been moving in the right direction, and while it is way too soon to start having a parade and declaring we are absolutely going to get a major snowstorm, the signals are encouraging. At the very least, we are looking at some sort of snowy system for parts of New England and potentially coastal sections of the Northeast. But the really exciting part of this forecast is what could happen much further south. Let me break down all the possibilities and walk you through exactly what we are seeing. First things first, let me show you why this setup has everyone talking. The latest American model run has the internet buzzing this afternoon. It shows snow pushing deep into the deep south and then cranking up a major nor'easter that rides up the East Coast. Now, is that my forecast right now? Absolutely not. But we are trending closer to a solution like this, and I think the GFS is providing a good ceiling on what we could potentially get out of this storm system. The details are going to shift over the coming days, but the ingredients are coming together in an intriguing way. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. One thing we absolutely do not have a problem with right now is cold air. Check out this Arctic air mass diving down out of Canada. It almost looks like an invasion sweeping across the United States. All those purple and pink colors on the temperature maps are plunging southward, and this cold air is going to lock into the eastern United States over the coming days. This is the real deal, folks. Here in Charlotte, we are likely not going to get out of the 30s tomorrow, which would be the first time we have not hit 40 degrees in quite a while. We only get days like that maybe once or twice a winter, sometimes 3 times at most. So when I tell you this cold air is impressive, I mean it. By overnight tonight, we will see snow in the mountains of North Carolina, at least in the northwest flow-favored areas, extending up through the Virginias, Pennsylvania, and New York. The I-95 corridor of the Northeast and New England looks like all rain initially with this system. Then that low pressure pulls through, the cold air really funnels in, and we wake up to a very cold Thursday morning across the mid-Atlantic and southeast. Those northwest flow showers will continue, even reaching snow squall intensity at times across Tennessee, the mountains of North Carolina, and up through the Appalachian chain. Some solid back-end snow will continue into New England as well. By Thursday afternoon and especially into Friday, that cold air is locked in for everyone, and by Friday, our next piece of energy starts to dive south. This is the one that could trigger a bigger storm with snow for the south and maybe a significant winter storm up the East Coast. There are a lot of details still to iron out, but the potential is definitely there. Let me give you the snowfall totals over the next 48 hours with the current system before we focus on the weekend storm. For the Great Lakes, this is going to be a very productive lake effect event. The configuration of the low pressure means that winds are going to parallel right off of Lake Michigan in an extremely favorable way. We could easily see double-digit snowfall totals in extreme southwestern Michigan right along the lakefront, extending down into parts of north-central Indiana where some folks could see up to 2 feet of snow. The western shoreline of Michigan and the Upper Peninsula will also see significant accumulation. For northern Indiana specifically, this wind pattern is maybe not quite as common as for other areas that see lake effect more frequently, so this could catch some people off guard. For the Northeast with the current system, this is not going to be a coastal storm. We could get some snow showers that break containment of the Appalachians, and yeah, maybe you get a quick dusting outside of the mountainous regions. But the real winners are going to be the Tug Hill Plateau, Erie, Buffalo, Cleveland, and the high terrain of Vermont, New Hampshire, and northern Maine. Further south through the Appalachian chain, West Virginia and the mountains there are going to do well, with many ski resorts getting excited about this one. Even the Smokies could easily pick up 6 inches to a foot or more in some areas. For the Mid-Atlantic with the current system, Washington, D.C., Richmond, southeastern Virginia, and even the foothills of the Carolinas are not going to see anything significant. This system is all about mountain snow, and more importantly, it is delivering the cold air that sets up the potential for what comes next. That cold air is going to be the key ingredient for the weekend system. Now let us talk about the weekend storm, because this is where things get really interesting. The European model shows some intriguing potential. By Saturday, the front pushes through and brings the cold air. Then the actual system starts to develop. On the European, it digs, but does so a little later and at a slightly less favorable angle for a major East Coast storm. However, it still produces snow breaking out across South Carolina, North Carolina, and I mean down there along the I-95 corridor. The European has snow reaching southern Georgia, up through Mount Pleasant, Orangeburg, Myrtle Beach, Marion, Mullins, Lumberton, Laurinburg, Rocky Mount, and into southeastern Virginia. It even gets snow all the way down to Wilmington by Sunday afternoon as the coastal low cranks up and the cold air crashes in. On the European solution, this is a quick-hitting but fun snowstorm. There would be travel impacts down into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and southeastern Virginia before this system pulls up and becomes a big snowstorm for Nova Scotia and Newfoundland while missing a majority of the Northeast. The GFS model tells a different story and represents the ceiling of possibilities right now. On the GFS, the system digs in a way that turns neutral over Alabama and then goes negative right around Savannah and Charleston before continuing that negative tilt perfectly up the East Coast. This is a textbook setup for a major East Coast winter storm. The GFS has snow reaching incredibly far south, including southern Mississippi, Alabama, Auburn, the Florida Panhandle, Atlanta, the upstate of South Carolina, and even Charlotte. Then it works this up the coast, and by Sunday evening shows a full-blown nor'easter with blizzard conditions through parts of the I-95 corridor. Long Island getting crushed, Connecticut getting crushed, Rhode Island and Massachusetts getting crushed, and major impacts all the way up into Maine before pulling into Canada. The European Ensemble Suite shows a similar picture. It maximizes chances around 30 to 40% for eastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. But remarkably, it has chances extending all the way down into the Florida Panhandle for snow out of this setup. The path of the storm is going to be critical, and right now, the ensembles suggest you actually have a better chance of seeing snow on the Jersey Shore than somewhere like State College, Pennsylvania. Let me give you my regional breakdown and thoughts on who is sitting in the best position versus who should pump the brakes a bit. For eastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, you are sitting in an excellent position right now. Cities like Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Elizabeth City, Norfolk, and Virginia Beach are right in the heart of where the ensemble probabilities maximize. I would not be surprised at all if this region sees accumulating snow from this system. For the South Carolina Midlands and Piedmont of North Carolina, including Columbia, Charlotte, Greenville, and Spartanburg, I would not be mad at all where you are sitting right now. The potential is definitely there, and multiple model solutions bring snow to these areas. Keep watching the trends closely. For Atlanta and northern Georgia, you are in the conversation. The GFS has been aggressive with snow reaching this far south, and while that might be the ceiling, the fact that you are even being discussed for accumulating snow in mid-January is noteworthy. For the immediate coast of the Carolinas and Deep South, including Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Charleston, southern Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle, I would be a little more skeptical. I know it looks great right now on some model runs, but I have seen plenty of times where these setups trend northwest enough that the coast gets robbed of what looked promising 4 or 5 days in advance. The potential is there, but temper expectations a bit. For the Northeast, including New York City, Boston, Hartford, Providence, and Portland, you are absolutely still in play. If this system trends northwest, which often happens as we get closer to reality, that would actually be great for coastal sections of the Northeast. You would get put right in the swath of the heaviest snow. But if the current trends hold, this might end up being more of a southern snow event that races offshore before delivering the goods to the major I-95 cities. We simply do not know yet which scenario will verify. For the interior Northeast and Northern New England, including Burlington, Syracuse, Buffalo, and Northern Maine, you are going to see snow regardless. The current system delivers mountain snow today and tomorrow, and then the weekend system brings additional chances even if it tracks offshore. Lake effect will also remain active with all this cold air in place. The bottom line is this: chances are increasing for a winter storm down south this weekend. We are tracking legitimate potential for accumulating snow in areas that rarely see it, including portions of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and southeastern Virginia. The ensemble guidance actually favors these southern areas more than traditional snow zones right now, which is remarkable. What we do not know yet is exactly how big this storm gets as it moves up the coast. There is a very real possibility this turns into a full-blown winter storm along coastal New England and the Northeast if the track works out favorably. But there is also a scenario where this is primarily a southern snow event that races offshore and spares the major northeastern cities. One of the keys at this range is the northwest trend that I always talk about. Many times when we are 5 days away, the models show storms hugging the coast, but then reality trends things northwest. If that happens here, it would be great for coastal sections of the Northeast, but might rob the immediate southeast coast of some of their potential. We will have to watch the trends closely. The cold air is locked in and not going anywhere. That is the one certainty in this forecast. Whatever precipitation falls over the next several days is going to be snow for most areas well inland. The pattern supports continued winter weather opportunities, and even if this specific system underperforms in one region, we remain in an active setup through the end of January. I will be monitoring every model run and providing updates as this evolves. There is a lot to track, and the details are going to continue shifting over the coming days. But the potential for significant winter weather is real, and this is exactly the kind of setup we have been waiting for. Stay tuned, stay weather aware, and I will see you in the next update.